everyone, welcome back to Leicester Fan TV. My name is Josh. Just before we get into today's show, if you are watching today's video on the 2nd of May, of course it's 4 years ago to this day when Leicester City were crowned Premier League champions after Tottenham Hotspur drew Chelsea 2-2 at Stamford Bridge on that famous night for Leicester City. A big happy Premier League Champions Day to all you Leicester fans out there if you are watching today's video on the 2nd of May. Of course, I'm wearing the season after kit after we won the Premier League title. Of course, got the Premier League Champions badges on either sleeve. But yeah, coming up in today's show on Leicester Fan TV, I'm going to be discussing Philippe Coutinho's possible transfer move to Leicester City in the up-and-coming Premier League transfer window. But just before we get into it, you can follow me on my personal YouTube channel, which is Sportsa. All of my social media links will be in the description down below. If you are watching today's video on the Leicester Fan TV YouTube channel, drop a like and also subscribe. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. You can also follow us on all of our social medias. We are on every single platform: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just go and follow us. You can find us at Leicester Fan TV on all of them. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into today's show. So, Philippe Coutinho to Leicester City. This just shows how far Leicester City have come as a club, obviously, since we did win the Premier League 4 years ago today. But yeah, what a big transfer move this could be for Leicester City. Of course, with the links with James Maddison possibly leaving to Manchester United, Philippe Coutinho could come in and fill that role perfectly in behind Jamie Vardy. Of course, Philippe Coutinho has the proven experience in the Premier League at Liverpool under Brendan Rodgers as well, which should be vital in this transfer. But first of all, I'm just going to quickly talk about who actually is Philippe Coutinho. So most of you will probably know Philippe Coutinho from his Liverpool days back in the Premier League under Brendan Rodgers, but he actually started his career at Inter Milan. After that, he went on a few loan spells out to some Spanish clubs, but then he arrived at Liverpool in 2013. He stayed there for 5 years where he flourished under Brendan Rodgers, especially playing in behind Luis Suarez, etc., especially when Liverpool got close to winning the Premier League. But yeah, he was a brilliant player at Liverpool. Of course, he's got the Premier League experience at Liverpool, which is going to be very vital. Of course, we know how good Philippe Coutinho, and we know he can prove it in a Premier League shirt, so that's very promising. If he does join, we know he's got the experience. But after Liverpool, he left in the 2017-18 season for a record transfer fee of £142 million to Barcelona, where he played a couple of seasons there. He's now out on loan at Bayern Munich, where he's performing very well in the Bundesliga. So yeah, he's had a very good career. And could he come to Leicester City? It probably is a bit of a step down from Bayern Munich. But obviously with Leicester at the moment, under Brendan Rodgers, which is a massive factor in this transfer window. Of course, he worked with him in the Liverpool days. Of course, Leicester with a young squad, talented squad, going for the Champions League. It could be the perfect move for Philippe Coutinho. So Philippe Coutinho is 27 years old. He's about to turn 28. So if he does arrive at the King Power Stadium in the summer transfer window, he will be at his prime of his career. Obviously, he's coming towards the 30s where players start to decline. But at the moment, he's still rising in his quality and he's a very good player. Of course, he's a Brazilian international as well. He's proved on a club and international level. He's a very well-rounded player, both club and international level. And of course, he can play in behind the striker in that centre attacking midfield position, the position which James Maddison usually takes up. And he can also play out wide. He did that especially for Liverpool. Of course, we all know how he can cut in and shoot from outside the box. And he scored a lot of goals like that in his time at Liverpool from out wide. More importantly, in the Premier League for Liverpool, Philippe Coutinho played a staggering 152 games for Liverpool and scored 41 goals. And to be honest, for an attacking player, that isn't the best of records. But of course, Philippe Coutinho arrived at Liverpool in 2013 when he was a much younger, more developing type of player. So he wasn't at his best of standards. But from 2014 along to 2018, where of course he left the club, he was scoring almost, he would have scored at least 10 goals a season. So he's got the proven Premier League quality, and that is very key in this transfer. So one of the most important things in this transfer will be the fee. What type of deal will we go for? Will we buy Philippe Coutinho? Will we loan him? To be honest, I think we have to loan him. Obviously, Philippe Coutinho went to Barcelona for about 150 million, which, you know, is quite a lot still in this modern day of football. I don't think we're going to be paying that for Philippe Coutinho. So I think the best thing to do if you were going to sign him would be to loan him. Of course, he's going to have very high wages as well. So I think if you were going to sign him, it would be a loan deal, because if you were going to buy him, it would be quite expensive. It would be a very expensive deal for Leicester City. So with that transfer fee, if he was to arrive at the King Power Stadium, we should be expecting a world-class player at the best level, the elite level of football players. And yeah, we should be expecting that. But the question is, what type of player is he? What position does he like to take up? Well, he can play across the front line, of course, I mentioned earlier. He can play in behind the striker in a sort of James Maddison role. And he can also play out wide. Of course, for Liverpool, he played left midfielder. He cut on in his right foot. And I'm sure you've scored a lot of his goals where he's cutting in outside the box. And he scored some pretty good goals in his time at Liverpool. He also takes up a sort of James Maddison role in behind the striker, coming into midfield, interchanging with players. He likes to play on the edge. He's a very good dribbler as well. His passing ability is second to none as well. He's a very good player. He's that perfect playmaker which we do need. Of course, James Maddison is very good at that, but if James Maddison was to leave, he'll be the perfect player to slot straight into our midfield. And yeah, Philippe Coutinho has it all. He's got the end product, he's got the shooting ability, he's got the passing, he's got the dribbling, he's everything you want in an attacking player. With Philippe Coutinho's passing ability, if him and Jamie Vardy played alongside each other, it would be a deadly partnership. Obviously, he's got the passing ability, and Jamie Vardy, any type of pass he gets onto him behind, and he's usually going to finish them. So it could be the dream combination, but Philippe Coutinho is a very good player. He's one of those players from Spain. He likes to take up that Spanish type of football. Very, very good on the ball, likes to interchange play, and he's got a very good end product, like I said. So yeah, like I said, he is the perfect player for Leicester City. But finally, the most important question is, how will Philippe Coutinho actually fit into the Leicester City side with Brendan Rodgers, of course, in charge? Obviously, James Maddison does take the role in which Philippe Coutinho usually likes to operate in, but obviously, James Maddison is heavily linked with a move to his boyhood club, Manchester United. So, if James Maddison was to leave to Manchester United, Philippe Coutinho will be the perfect man to slot in behind Jamie Vardy and get into that attacking midfield position. But if James Maddison was to stay, I could see Philippe Coutinho operating in a more wide position. Obviously, he likes to cut in on his right foot from the left. He can cut in and he can shoot. Obviously, he can also play on the right as he is right-footed. So he can play on either flank. He can also play in the attacking position, like I said, behind the striker. He can play alongside the free in behind Jamie Vardy. So he can really fit into the team anyway. And I think he also can do a job in midfield. So I think he could fit in more out wide. Obviously, if Leicester City keep the same type of squad with the likes of James Maddison, Yuri Tielemans, etc. But if Maddison was to leave, like I said, he would be the perfect man to come in behind Jamie Vardy and operate in that central attacking midfielder role. But overall, would I like to see Philippe Coutinho join Leicester City? Obviously, the answer is yes. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But would it actually happen? Is it a realistic transfer? Probably not. A lot of Premier League clubs are linked with Philippe Coutinho. He's been linked with a return to Liverpool. That could happen, you never know. Of course, Liverpool doing very well at the moment. He's going to cost quite a lot of money. So, is it realistic? Probably not. But what a player it would be if he could join Leicester. Obviously, he's getting towards his prime now with a young squad, heading into Champions League football. Hopefully, if the season does start once again. But you know, that's a separate video. But yeah, if Philippe Coutinho was going to join Leicester City, that would have been an absolutely outstanding. That would just show how far we have come. A few years ago, if you said Philippe Coutinho could possibly be joining Leicester City, I would have said you're absolutely stupid. So it just shows how far the club has came. But what a signing it would be. Obviously, Brendan Rodgers worked with Coutinho at Liverpool. Them two got on very well in the Premier League at Liverpool. So he has to prove an experience. It will be a brilliant signing. But the question is, can Brendan Rodgers, can John Rudkin bring Philippe Coutinho to the King Power Stadium? So that's it for Philippe Coutinho's possible move to Leicester City. Let me know your opinions on Philippe Coutinho and his move to Leicester in the comment section down below. Could it happen? Could it not? Let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, that is it for today's video on Leicester Fan TV. A big thanks if you are watching this far. If you are watching on YouTube, drop a like on the video and also subscribe. But yeah, happy Leicester City Champions Day, of course, if you are watching on the 2nd of May. But yeah, that is it for Philippe Coutinho's possible move to Leicester City. My opinions on that. But yeah, that is it for today's video, guys. And the most important thing is to keep it Leicester City.